Dog, I don't know if you can hear her.
Oh, I can hear it. But ladies and gentlemen, we are now gathered to induct the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And usually I do these speeches for about 15, 20 minutes, but not so fast tonight because I know that our guest is about to wrestle a match that, boy, I have been talking about this on this platform since, well, the day he announced it here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And what a time it is to induct our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame because, I don't know, it was less than 72 hours ago that another WWE great, a TNA Impact Wrestling Hall of Famer, the last proper ECW World Champion was here, Rhino. And we follow it up with a World War. We follow it up with a man that is going to be the 99th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. 99 is a great number. Wayne Gretzky, after all, one of the greatest athletes of all time. And this is one of the greatest Hall of Famers of all time in Sportswire Radio history. I go back with this gentleman, for those that may or may not know, I go back with this gentleman for, 16 months. It was 16 months ago. I put him on this show. We were talking about him and this guy, Vito Fratelli, who's not once but twice has made the PWI 500. But you know what? I'm going to get to that later on. I'm going to maybe drop a bomb on that, and I promise you it'll be a good bomb. It'll be a World War-like bomb. I'll do it. I'm definitely going to do that. But since then, boy, our guest has had more hair. He's apparently doing some bigger things. Well, outside the ring, he'll tell us about that, and he is going to, I think, have a year that may even exceed what Mr. Fratelli has done when he gets through with Savio Vega. Oh, we're going to talk about that. But, I do want to say a few quick words about our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame because, the journey of a wrestler is about putting their blood, sweat, and tears out there. There is no question that I've gotten a chance to know Stud Bronson on and off for the past 16 months. This man, what he has done in terms of juggling his home life, juggling his other outside interests, like I don't know, acting. And by the way, being a pretty damn good wrestler in the Southwest and the Pacific West and everywhere else that he's gone, Arizona, Utah, you name a place, he's been there and he's shown in many ways just like some of his biggest inspirations. Vader, the man they call Vader. I'm not going to do a podcast that I'm going to ask him about memory lane, but this man, I'll tell you something. He should have been in our Hall of Fame a long time ago, but I'm going to make it up to him because he got into the Hall of Fame before, Vito Fratelli did. So there may be 1 to Stud Bronson, 0 Vito Fratelli. But when I think about this man and what the Peacemakers have done, it is a celebration. It is a celebration of how far that this man has come in his journey and everything he's went through. Being a gold medalist in powerlifting, his Muay Thai background, and his journey, the blood, sweat, and tears he has put out there for our sport in representing it. Sportswire Radio, some would say, is gone to the masses of late. Some people would say Sportswire Radio has arrived. But it's guys like Stud Bronson who've helped us get there. It's guys and gals and each and every one of you out here tonight that made this must-see nights. This is the only platform that I guarantee that Stud Bronson's been to where he has a live audience, he gets to speak with his peers, and we're going to give him that moment. We're going to give him that moment. But I want to say this before I do officially induct Stud Bronson to the Hall of Fame. And I did want to say a lot, but Mr. Bronson's a busy man, and he's only got an hour. But I do want to say this much about Stud Bronson. It is true wrestlers like him that put their blood, sweat, and tears out there. It is true wrestlers like him that give us a reason, to be here. We all owe a debt of gratitude to every wrestler who goes out there because it is well known. Stud Bronson dealt with a lot of injuries. He's dealt with a lot of trials and tribulations, but he hasn't given up. Just like some people have told me, Tom, you didn't give up after all those years. I thought it was a joke you were going to do a podcast. You should have stayed in politics. But now, you know what? Yeah, I'm a fan of yours. Well, Stud Bronson, he's went through the same journey. Because I guarantee you, after next Saturday at Genesis, when he defeats Savio Vega, he's going to have his moment. Oh, and I'm going to certainly address Mr. Fratelli. I'm going to address Mr. Darrow Johnson, the man that connected us. And I'm most importantly going to connect each and every one of you to Stud Bronson. You know, I could go on and on and on about Stud Bronson, but I'm going to let Stud Bronson do some talking here because he's a busy man. He's got busy places to go to, and he's got an announcement or two. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to induct the final member of our 9th class, our 99th member. And by the way, Stud Bronson, you're in a pretty great class of Hall of Famers, I might want to add. We have those that have, let's just say, I don't know, the head coach of the United States amputee men's soccer team, somebody that played in the NCAA men's basketball Final Four. Oh, I don't know, Dean Allmark, who only wrestled in TNA Impact Wrestling and dabbled in Japan, maybe considered to be the greatest independent British wrestler of all time, and just a slew of other greats that are in our Hall of Fame. But it is time now to give you that Hall of Fame-like introduction. Yeah, to quote somebody in the chat, we got 99 problems, but Stud Bronson ain't one of them. But Savio Vega, you're going to have that problem coming up next Saturday in Douglas, Arizona. But ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to induct the 99th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, our 9th member of our 9th class, the reigning defending Super Vader, an urban legend champion of the world, World War Stud Bronson. But since we are here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, I'm giving you that Hall of Fame like introduction. So ladies and gentlemen, join me and giving him that Hall of Fame like introduction on the platform that Stud Bronson and Rhino most certainly built to the tune of nearly 1,370 subscribers, where Sportswire Radio is all wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report. Number one, Global Sports Show, the 99th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, the reigning defending Super Vader, an urban legend, champion of the world. His name is simply put, World War Star. My friend, congratulations. You're the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. The champ is here. How are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, man?
Ask me after this interview and ask me after I hopefully get StreamYard ready to connect my reels back to Instagram and TikTok. But enough about that, my friend. So good to have you back, and congratulations on being the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame.
It's good to be back, and I appreciate it. I'm not real good with sentimental things, but it means a lot. It really does. I appreciate the honor. It's
no, you definitely deserve it. It has definitely been a journey. I know it's been a grind. I've gotten a chance to know you for, like I said, about 16 months, and
sure.
I definitely know that you've earned it. I do feel like that I should have inducted you earlier, but it is what it is. You're here, but you know what? You got into the Hall of Fame before Vito Fratelli did, so
I did.
so you can look at it from that vantage point. But congratulations. I'll present you the certificate in a little while, but we do have some things to talk about. I want to put a poster up. I want to promote a couple of different things because, boy, I am so excited about next Saturday because, as I stated, I just had Rhino here, the man beast, the war machine himself. He was literally here in your chair 72 hours ago. And I would say to myself, how do I top that? Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? We found a way to do it because next Saturday, Thunder Mountain Wrestling Genesis, you are putting up one of your championships up against the man that you announced you were wrestling here on this platform 3 months ago in Savio Vega, a man that wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania, a man that wrestled Bob Backlund, a man that wrestled Owen Hart, a slew of some of the greatest that have ever stepped foot in our sport. And he's here in Thunder Mountain Wrestling and World War Stud Bronson. For those that are listening and watching in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you and Rhino most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio, tell us how you're going to defeat the one and only Savio Vega next Saturday.
I'm gonna beat the hell out of him. When I was a real little stud, I would get the Beware of Dog pay-per-view on VHS.
Oh yes, I remember that. That was in 1996. Yes.
Yeah, and it's
was that the pay-per-view where they had the outage? Was that the one?
Caribbean strap match, and I watched that so much. I think I have a good idea on how to handle Savio. And I'm not just going to put up the Super Vader. I'm actually going to put up the Urban Legend Championship as well.
You're doing whoa, we're putting up both titles here. Yeah. Both titles.
Sure. Both.
Sure. Why? Why both?
I got something to prove.
Well,
it's if he can take them, he deserves both of them, not just one of them. That's how I feel. And it's pretty cut and dry, I think. With Savio, if I can get past Savio Vega, I'm gonna say I'm laying out the challenge. It doesn't matter where, when, whatever. If I'm Super Vader champion, you're gonna see me fighting guys like Manders from GCW.
Oh yeah,
fighting guys like Vito Fratelli.
I'm getting to him. I got something to say on that in a little while.
It's gonna happen. I got to make it happen. Because if you're gonna be a $2 steak tough, you gotta prove it. So I think putting both the belts up for him, Savio Vega, and anybody that wants to come follow after. If you're gonna come for the king, you might as well take his head.
Well, you know what? He was very, he hasn't said much. He doesn't have to say much. He just wrestled in Puerto Rico not long ago. He wrestled a guy, John Hawking. It was a heck of a match. And he basically, all he said was, I'm going to beat you. And that was it. He didn't say, I mean, do you feel like he's taking you lightly? He hasn't addressed anything? I mean, what do you feel about that? Because usually guys come on here and they say this, and that. You've been in this game a while. You're no pushover. I'm speaking with one of my friends just before on Facebook. Oh, Stud Bronson? I know him. He's in Pennsylvania. So, do you feel like you're being disrespected right now? What is going on? And why he has not come out and said other than, I'm going to take the title from you? That's it.
I think Savio just has a lot of confidence, and that's no harm against him, no foul. And that's what we need in this business. You need a lot of confidence. I'm going to say Savio probably should get on the phone and he should call up Dios del Inframundo, Drago from Lucha Underground, and ask him what it was like to be choked out by Stud Bronson in under 5 minutes. That's what Savio should do. I don't think he's taking me lightly. I just think he doesn't know what he's getting himself into. He thinks that he's going to get in the ring with some starry-eyed, knock-kneed boy that's going to be, Savio Vega.
But you're not that. You're a big boy. What you've done in Thunder Mountain, what you've done in a lot of different places. Darrow, full disclosure, has talked you up to me for over 2 years. You are a guy. I mean, you're not one of these starry-eyed young rookies that might look at Savio Vega and want to see him at a seminar and might want to go out there and sit with him and ask him what it was like with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, hell yeah. And Bob Backlund and Owen Hart and Bret Hart and all those guys. No, you are literally a world war enterprise. You are a man that you're not really interested in any of that. And I think that we're going to see this coming up here in the Douglas High School, 1550 15th Street, Douglas, Arizona, Thunder Mountain Genesis latest show here next Saturday. I think he's going to find that out firsthand. I'll tell you that much.
I think what he should do is he should go up and go on Netflix and pull up Monday Night Raw, and he should go watch the match that he had with Vader. And it's just going to be a repeat of that. I am going
to. Well, you know what? If I recall correctly, that match didn't go too well in his favor, if I recall.
That's right. So
I remember.
That's I figure we're going to see a repeat of that. And hey, if we don't, congratulations to Savio Vega. I've had I won it off the Ramrock in September.
We spoke about this a few months ago on Sportswire.
Yeah, I defended against Drago, and realistically, right there for me, that's already Hall of Fame for me. That's the way I look at that. The Ramrock, he's real big in the Southwest this way. He's a multi-time tag champion. He's a multi-time heavyweight champion. He's legitimately one of the best professional wrestlers I've ever stepped in the ring with. The first time we wrestled, he beat me into a smear on the ground. I got to my feet. That's the 10 count. I got to my feet just a half second before he did. He slipped out under the ring, under the bottom rope. Ramrock really took me to my limit. And I realized I had to switch gears. And when I did that, I took a legend like Drago, a lucha legend, and I wrapped my 20-inch arms around his neck, and I choked him out in under 5 minutes. That's just how it goes.
Well, you know what? I tell you what, and this is what, I'm so fired up about this because of just the ramifications, though, in your career. I'm going to promote the card in a few minutes. I'm going to put some of the other posters up here. I want to praise everybody that's going to be there. I want to talk about a couple of other things. I want to give you a certificate, but I'm so fired up for you because what this will do for your career, you defeat Savio Vega next Saturday. This opens up endless other opportunities. Think about it, right? Savio Vega, we've been talking a lot about you the last few days on Sportswire. We've mentioned you left and right, and guys were getting fired up. I see some of my guys here in the chat. They're so excited about this, and you beat him, and you could maybe wrestle somebody else that's a WWE legend. You could wrestle this person and that person. That's why, to me, I think there's so much more on the line, not just the Super Vader and the Urban Legend Championships, but really plenty of doors that could open for you anywhere against a who's who of WWE legends out there. I really believe that, Stud Bronson.
Me too. I think the big key here for me is if I am able to topple Savio Vega, it opens up overseas wrestling for me.
Absolutely.
And
I'm the man, by the way, that talks with overseas wrestlers, just so you know. I'm the guy that brings on the UK wrestlers. So they're coming back.
My goal is to wrestle in Europe and wrestle in Japan. I actually very much, it's a life goal of mine. This is a weird life goal, I know.
No, it's not on this platform.
It's to get the Manimal Ribera steak jacket from the Ribera Steakhouse in Japan. That's my, with him, me and him go in there. We eat the steak. He gets the jacket, and that's what I want. That's one of my big goals. I wanna wrestle in Japan, and I don't think that's too far off. And I want to wrestle in Europe, and I don't think that's too far off.
Not at all. I don't think so either, because you're in the ring with Savio Vega. Obviously, he's coming here for a reason, and Savio Vega doesn't come to Arizona a lot. He does not come up this way. I just saw him, I think about a month and a half ago. He was in my neck of the woods in the Bronx. I mean, he does not come out this way very often. So obviously, there's a lot on the line here. A lot of people. This almost reminds me almost of if you were almost going to scout somebody. If I was going to scout somebody to sign them to a big contract of some sorts, or just really I want to maybe look more into them. This is that kind of match because of everything you've went through, everything that's on the line. I can't wait for this match. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to go out there and go support Thunder Mountain Wrestling. I cannot stress enough here. And get this, ladies and gentlemen. This show, general admission free. VIP, $20. You know, Stud Bronson, $20. I went out and saw Sonic 3. I went out and saw The Fire Inside, kind of a boxing movie, almost like what we're going through. And I spent more than $20 on those tickets alone. Here in New York City, I just went out and ate. I spent more than $20. But this show, I go out there for $20 a VIP, and I'm going to meet some of the very best wrestlers who have ever stepped foot inside that squared circle that we all love. You have to go out there and check out Thunder Mountain Wrestling. You have to go out there and support them on Instagram. You have to go out there and support them on YouTube. You have to go out there and support them on Facebook. Boy, I cannot wait for all of it here. And, you know, there's so many other matches here that you got to go out there and check out. I mean, look at just everything we got here going on. We got Stevie Ray Finn, Elvis there. I mean, this is going to be another match. You better be ready for it. Yeah, battling at Genesis for Thunder Mountain Wrestling. Certainly clever. And how about this guy here? This guy who's coming to Thunder Mountain Wrestling. You heard of him? Name ring a bell?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Old Vampiro. Yep. To my understanding, the things that have happened to the Peacemakers, well, it's not to my understanding. I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag. The things that happened to the Peacemakers have caught...
We talked about it here last time you were here.
Yeah, it's caught Vampiro's eye. And Vampiro and Don Carlos, who is the father of the Peacemakers, who has now basically broken the Peacemakers up. They go back a real long time. There was a promo sometime back on the NWA where Vampiro talked about how he is the power. And if you want the power, you have to come to him. Well, him and Don Carlos, they're the same kind of men. The same kind of, maybe not man, maybe it's entity, you want to say. And I think we're going to be in for a real treat next Saturday when Vampiro makes his Thunder Mountain Wrestling debut. And I say debut very confidently because it is I'm well aware that he's going to stick around for a long time to help us sort some things out.
Wait. Vampiro, you mean to tell me, Stud Bronson, that Vampiro not only is making his debut in Thunder Mountain Wrestling, but he's going to stay here for a while? Are you sure? You want to say, I mean, we're live. You sure you want to say that?
I'm very sure. Yeah, Vampiro is officially a member of the Thunder Mountain Wrestling roster.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Vampiro, a man who's one of the greatest wrestlers all time, and especially in places in Mexico. His run in WCW was legendary. You've seen him all over the place. Japan, you name it, he's been there. And he's now an official member of the Thunder Mountain Wrestling roster. Somebody wake me up. Just when I thought I couldn't follow up Rhino, oh baby, we just did it.
Yep. Vampiro's he's the man. He's going to be around a lot this year, and we got some things we got to settle, some scores we got to settle. He's going to help the Peacemakers out in a big way.
Oh, you know what? I am fired up for one. And I know people in the chat want to talk to you, but I know the only way also you want to watch Thunder Mountain Wrestling stuff, you have to hit that sub button for me on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel now that is just debuted. It is taking the nation by storm. You have to go out there. Do me a favor. You're here right now in the chat. I got a bunch of people here. Some of my people are out there. You got to go out there and hit that sub button. Thunder Mountain Wrestling. And only do you got Vampiro, not only do you got Savio Vega, but you got the whole Thunder Mountain Wrestling roster at your disposal. What a way to start this week off. What a way to start the new year off. Thunder Mountain Wrestling on YouTube. Do me a favor. You're here right now. Hit that sub button for me. Hit that sub button for me. And if you're nearby Douglas, Arizona, you have to be there. If you are not there, you are really going to be square. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen at Thunder Mountain Wrestling. Boy, I'm fired up here, Thunder Mountain Wrestling fans. Boy, I'm fired up. But, you know, I know you're a busy man. I know a lot of people want to talk to you. I'm going to do that in a second. But I have to present to you something that I said I would to put you in that Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And there it is. Congratulations. You're number 99. You got my John Hancock. You got the date. and you're
Beautiful.
officially a member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And before Mr. Fratelli, by the way, before Mr. Fratelli.
It means the world to me. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it, but you know what? If I could, I want to get to the chat. I know you're obviously, get a run for a lot of places, and I'll get to that in a minute. But, I've been thinking about this. Now, obviously, we know that the reason we connected originally was for you and Mr. Fratelli to have had a match. Mr. Fratelli at the time was on his way to finally go into the PWI 500. He made it. It was a match, the two of you, was almost kind of tailor-made. It was tailor-made for this platform. And I know that this match hasn't happened yet. I have seen Mr. Fratelli in his own right with a slew of WWE names. He's gone in there and defeated some of those guys. But you know what? I'm going to up the ante. I'll tell you what, Stud Bronson, I don't know where this match could happen. Maybe it should happen at Thunder Mountain Wrestling, but I will, if I have to put up some of my own money, my own personal money, to see you and Vito Fratelli, I will do it. I don't know what the figure would be. I don't know what we got to do, but I want to see, and I think the world wants to see Vito Fratelli and Stud Bronson, especially after next weekend, where you go out there and you have the biggest victory of your career. What does it have to take?
I'm open. And I'll tell you this. If we can't make it happen in California, if we can't make it happen in Utah, if we can't make it happen in Texas, all those fine places, Colorado.
What do I got to do? Because you know what? I want to see this match. I really want to see who's the true best big man. I want to see what you've been doing, what Mr. Fratelli's been doing. I mean, Mr. Johnson, if he's going to do it, he hasn't done it yet. What does it take to make this match happen? What does it take?
Well, I'll tell you, I know I have matches in January, February, and March. But when we get into that April and May time frame, if Vito Fratelli wants to walk his big self over to Arizona, we can do it in Thunder Mountain. As a matter of fact, we can do it for the Super Vader and the Urban Legend if I still have them.
Oh, well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Like I said, what does it take? I'll put up some of my own money to make this match because I want to see it. And I think the world deserves to see that match. The world deserves to see you and Vito Fratelli because we can think of the opportunities. Think of the possibilities. You defeat Savio Vega?
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Fratelli, by the way, two-time PWI 500 member. What's he waiting for?
Exactly. And that's another goal of mine. You got guys like Vito Fratelli. You got guys like Manders and GCW.
Yep.
I'm gonna get on the PWI 500 this year, and I'm gonna do it by beating their asses. That's the skinny right there, no doubt about it. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna have the best big man matches you've seen in a real long time with both those guys. If they got a pair and they want to show up, they want to come out to Arizona, belts, no belts, doesn't matter. Steel cage, bull rope, dog collar, I'll do it. Ball's in their court.
Well, you know what? It's funny you said that. You talk about the PWI 500. I asked a question to Rhino that, as a matter of fact, nobody's asked him. Nobody's asked Rhino that question. I'm the guy that asked Rhino a question that nobody's ever asked him. And I'm going to tell you right now, Stud Bronson, for those that are listening and watching, you're in prime time on the brightest light, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters. You will make the PWI 500 this year. You will go out there. You wrestle Vito Fratelli. You go beat Savio Vega. I'll tell you what, you will be on that PWI 500. Rhino talked about what it meant to him to be number 10 on the PWI 500 in 2001. He talked about reading the PWI 500. There is no question to every wrestler. Their Bible is the PWI 500. This was the platform. When I asked that question to Vito Fratelli 2 years ago about being on the PWI 500, there was a lot of meaning to it. He got onto the PWI 500, and rest assured, tonight will be the start of Stud Bronson's year, but also the year that Stud Bronson finally makes that PWI 500. Because like I said tonight, what will it take to make Fratelli and Bronson happen? I'm your man. I'm your man. I'm your man. and I see the chat's fired up. I want people right now, because I see some people here, some of my people, and what I want you to do right now, Stud Bronson's on Instagram. You gotta go give him a follow, because look at the size of this man. Look at him, what he's done for our sport. Look at what he's going to do next Saturday. You have to follow Stud Bronson. If you don't, the man is literally the walking definition of a world war. Not a nuclear weapon, not a science project. He is figuratively and literally a world war Stud Bronson. He is the urban legend and the Super Vader champion. He is putting those titles up here coming up next week at 125-25 Thunder Mountain Wrestling's latest show, Jealous, and he is the newest member of our Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Let's get to the chat. They want to talk to you. I know you're a busy man. I know you got places to go, things to do, championships to collect, fame to continue to go through. So I got so many people here. Let me do as best I can to get through all of them. I know this feels like, Rhino said, by the way, doing an interview on Sportswire was intense. Tonight is intense. Like I said, you've done podcasts before. This is not like any other platform where guys go out there and they say, well, what was your favorite movie? What would you want to be wrestling? No, not here. You're talking to the people, and we're going to get to them right now, baby. We got Zilla here, who, by the way, is a big fan of yours. I love, like, and respect and appreciate Stud Bronson. You want to talk about a mouthful there? We got it. Hello, Ryan Russell. Huge shout out to him. Yeah, I tell you what, Stud Bronson is fired up tonight, and I would be too. Thank you. Yep. You know what? Thank you for tuning in as well. Thank you. We love the people here. Stud. I should have probably said that earlier. World War Stud. You better believe it. You better listen there. Hi, Stud. The people are here for you. And if you haven't yet, hit the sub button for me, because I'm telling you what, we're going to get more WWE names. We're going to get Stud Bronson here, and we're going to make that match happen for Telly and Bronson. We're going to make it happen. Bring me Stud. Well, you got him. He's here. Stud. You better believe it. World War Stud Bronson. Yep. We got, yep. This is definitely Stud Bronson's ready. World War Stud. My man, Ed Pizzo. This man is trying to change the wrestling world as we know it. With Dooley.com. He wants to change the world. Speaking of people, one of my buddies, Comatose, who is here. He is here from the underground, and he's got a podcast out there, which you got to go check out. He's a podcaster. Maybe he's here scouting you to interview for his podcast. Because I tell you what, this guy might be the guy to take over for me. I hope he can do the intros, because he's doing some hosting. So if you want to go on his show after you're sick and tired of me, you can do it by going right here. Give him a sub. He's coming back here next week on Sportswire. Do me a favor. Go sub to Comatose. He might be the next thing. He might be the next Chris Van Vliet. He might be the man to take over Sportswire for me. There we go. Lots of blood. Congratulations to Stud Bronson. You better believe it. Stud has the passion and the love for this business. I could not agree more. He is a champion. Congratulations, Mr. Bronson. And he's not related to Charles Bronson, because he kicks a lot more butt than Charles Bronson. World War Stud Bronson. Yep. Hello to Comatose. Stud Bronson is the greatest of all time. You know what? Mr. Fratelli and Mr. Vega, they're going to find out. Congratulations. And Comatose is a two-time Hall of Famer, and you've joined him. Hello there. Yep. Most deserving member. He is one of the most deserving members. 99 problems. Stud Bronson isn't one of them, but Savio Vega's problem is going to be Stud Bronson coming up next Saturday. Thunder Mountain Genesis. You better believe it. Yep. Stud is 98 of those 99 problems. That was a good play on words. Stud. Yep. We got a lot of people just fired up. They are fired up. Hello there. Yep. We got our friends in Roseburg, Oregon, BTW scouting out the ghost of the Himalayas. Hell yeah. Congrats to Stud Bronson. He definitely deserves it. People are they're fired up. It's almost like we're at a show. It's almost like we're at Thunder Mountain Wrestling. World War Stud, feel the power. Right. I mean, next Saturday, you know what? I wish I lived in Douglas, Arizona, and I wish I was there. But I tell you what, we're going to certainly make it happen. We're very cool about that. Who else? Oh, Trifco's in the house. You love Trifco, by the way. Yeah, we love Trifco, by the way. Got to get Trifco on here. Yep. Next Saturday is going to be full of World War Stud Bronson, Thunder Mountain Wrestling. I tell you what, and we've talked about this before. There are independent wrestling companies, and then there's Thunder Mountain. Thunder Mountain gets it. Finally a company that gets it. Finally, a company that's doing storylines. Finally, a company that's giving you the very best. Finally, a company that recognizes it needs to always be in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform where all wrestling matters. Stud is going to kill you. Stud's gonna kill you. Stud's gonna kill you. Yep, you better believe it. Samoa Joe wouldn't even want any peace. You know what? Stud, you know what? I mean, I'm just running through these comments. I know you're a busy man. My man, the evil angel Judas. He's an evil angel. He's tuned in. Boy, they're all coming out for you. Savio, you better call somebody. Savio better call somebody. You better believe it. Savio better watch out. He definitely doesn't know what he has. You know what? He might want to come out to Judas Priest's. You got another thing coming because Stud Bronson's going to give you a World War-like victory coming up. Yep. Stud Bronson's on another level. You better believe it. Stud isn't losing his belts. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. What a banger of a match card. So excited. Yeah, you know what? Finally. I'm rooting. Yep, Zilla's rooting for Stud Bronson. Respect. RESPECT. That we got. Thank you. And everybody hit that sub button. My buddy Joe Starr is going to be in your chair also on the 25th because we're not in Arizona, unfortunately. Yep. He is the star of the show. He is the Northeast champion. You're in the West. Thunder Mountain's got some big surprises. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. You never say never. Stud is going to kill Savio Vega. You know, well, I mean, he might. I tell you what. Maybe Savio wants to change his mind. Who knows? That is a beautiful dream. Joe Starr. Yep, let's see who else we got here. Thunder Mountain Wrestling does it for the people. You better believe it. Thunder Mountain Wrestling Instagram. Hit that follow, please. Yep, I thought it was Lena. Definitely going to be watching. Thank you, Comatose, for that. We appreciate that. Vampiro coming is big thing. But I got one here for you. Last match of the year worked out well for Stud, but what's the scoop on the Peacemakers?
That is a heavy question. So
heavy as the crown. Yep,
it is. I'm busy. I'm fighting, and my brother, the Manimal, he is taking on our other brother Chivero in a 6-man tag match.
Yes, I have the poster right there for it.
I hope this is the end of it. I hope whatever poison Don Carlos has put into his head, maybe the Manimal can shake loose. I really hope we literally wrestled the Foundation, who the Manimal's tagging with, for half the year last year. They actually severely damaged my right knee, took me out of action for a little bit. It has gotten so bad that the Manimal he's being forced basically to tag with the Foundation. The Foundation seemed to be turning over a new leaf. Maybe he's got some partners that can help him out when I'm busy like this. The Peacemakers, where it stands with the Manimal and Stud Bronson, the Peacemakers are forever. I don't know what's happening with Chivero. I don't know where his head's at. I don't know what his plan is. I haven't seen him in months. I haven't heard from him in months. It's a very trying time. It really is. The Peacemakers, though, we're fine. Whether it's Stud and Manimal or all three of us, the Peacemakers will always be.
Well, we're going to find out. The only way to find out is watch the show itself, and the VIP is $20.
You know what that gets you? You get special seating. You get to meet Colby Carino from the NWA, who is on Victor Ursus, the heavyweight champion, who stole that belt from the Manimal.
We talked about that here last time.
You get to meet Savio Vega, and hopefully it's before he gets in the ring with me. Otherwise, Savio Vega.
You know what? What a deal that is. Think about that, right? You get 3 wrestlers to meet for $20. In this day and age, people go to conventions to meet Savio Vega. They spend 3-4 times that. Colby Carino is. It's funny you mentioned Colby Carino. After you came on, I had a wrestler on my platform, a guy Jackson Blade, who was learning from Colby Carino. He took a couple of, seminars with him. He knows him from North Carolina. What a small world. Think about that. Where are you going to go for $20 to meet not 1, not 2, but 3 wrestlers?
Yep, and then you get the legendary Vampiro.
Oh, my God. No, I would pay $100 for something, $200 for something like that. I mean, this is an amazing deal. Seriously. That's, I don't know how how anybody could not buy a ticket if they're nearby in Douglas, Arizona, because you're getting all of that, and you're going to watch some of the very best wrestling in our entire circuit. Our entire circuit. I mean, I don't know what more else I could say. Yeah, Vampiro is awesome. You better believe it. I love, like, and respect and appreciate Vampiro. Even more exciting, Vampiro making a home in Thunder Mountain Wrestling. That's what we heard.
He is. He
It's
is.
unbelievable. Yep, it's a big deal. It is a big deal. Somebody call my mama. Yep. There we go. 2025 is going to be an awesome, awesome year. You better believe it's going to be an awesome year. You gotta better believe that. There is no question about that. With Dooley, and we got Thunder Mountain Wrestling and YouTube, by the way. Thunder Mountain Wrestling. You must hit that sub button for me. Thunder Mountain Wrestling. You better do it. Hell yeah. Congratulations to Vampiro signing with Thunder Mountain Wrestling. He deserves it. This is not subscribed. There you go. Already subscribed. Ed says congrats. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Congratulations. My buddy Justin Abel Saint, who's a Cambodian war machine. Cambodian war machine's tuned in. And he was told you're a certified stud. And he heard about you from the Northeast. And that tells you your pull right now. Yeah. Vampiro, Savior, Stud, Manimal, all legends. Yeah, you better believe it. You better believe it. You know what? Yeah, we want Vito. I want this match. Like I said, what do I have to do to make it happen? You told me your schedule when it could happen.
Yeah.
We're going to do our best. Speaking of people that were here who were pumping you up, yes, I wish you would have heard the video, because unfortunately my StreamYard, I can't post videos like I normally do, but James Taylor, yes, 88,000 bucks. Don't worry, the dog can bark. The dog will get us more views. We're going to go soon. Don't you worry. I know you're a busy man. You got stuff to do. Don't worry about that. Dooley as a new, don't worry about it. We're going to go soon. You're a busy man. I know it. Calling Vito out. Yep. Facts. I think they're talking about Vito. Everybody heard Vito. That broke the internet. If you still have them, Stud Bronson will reign forever. Ooh, Vito is scared of Stud is what it sounds like to me. You know, that's what it sounds like. Could it be? Vito is scared of, Vito is hearing this just made comatose. And he's in Idaho right now. Not too far.
Not too far.
Stud is a lock for the PWI 500. You better believe it. And you better go follow Stud. Instagram for me. It's the year of, you know what, coming toward Lunar New Year. And the Lunar New Year should be renamed to Stud. Lunar New Year should be Stud. That's what it should be. If anyone can, long overdue. If you've ever seen him live, you know it's the truth. Boy, you know what? This man literally, you know what? I'm going to say it. I think Rhino should wrestle you one day. You know what? He's not going anywhere. He's not anymore in TNA. He's not in WWE. You know what? If there's a will and a way, why not Rhino?
Why not?
Seriously. Why not Rhino?
Let's
do it. The World War Stud Bronson versus the War Machine Rhino?
I'm in. I'm in.
We're going to see. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. Immediately followed. There you go. World War Stud. My buddy Ace Reed is here from Australia. Australia is here. This is where you come. You come, and that's where you find it. Have you done anything different for your fight with Vega?
So yes, actually, I've
talk about it.
I always train strength, but there's moderation to it. There's been no moderation this time. My deadlift is 700 pounds. My overhead press 405 pounds. My bench press is over the 315 mark. When I hit Savio, I'm going to hit him. We've actually done the science and the math work on this. With my strength levels now at my height and my weight, every time I hit Savio Vega, and this is a fact, it's going to be like he's getting hit with a sledgehammer every single time. So I've made it basically impossible for him to weather any kind of storm. So if you suddenly see bop, 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 and the hands just keep hitting Savio, he's going to go down real quick. I'm too strong at this point. So the strength routine's gone up. I've included extra cardio. I can thank my wonderful wife for that. She likes to get me out at 6:30 in the morning on a Saturday and makes me do cardio. So I got a good gas tank. I'm super powered at this point. So yeah, it's changed a little bit.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. That's exactly why you need to follow Stud Bronson on Instagram. And I cannot stress enough the importance of this match to support Thunder Mountain Wrestling and everything they do. And they do a great job representing the community. It's always about community. I'm not here without the community. Thunder Mountain Wrestling is the community. They are our community. We support them. Thank you, Ed, for that. We appreciate that. Does Stud have an opinion on what's going on with Shivera? I think we spoke about that just before. I think we did address that.
It's heartbreaking. I think he's been poisoned. I think his brain has been poisoned. He has a love for Don Carlos, who has acted as our father for basically our entire lives. He is the first one up in the morning. He's the first one to help Don Carlos with anything around the ranch. He is like clockwork for Don Carlos. There is no waver in his will for that man. And I think Don Carlos has said something or done something to make Shivero believe we are against him. That's the only thing I can think. He held, this is 100% true. When I went out to save the Manimal in October, when they were stealing the title from him, Premium Protection Agency, the kind of hired men from Don Carlos, right? And then Shivero came out and he did stop me. And he held me against the ring with such force that for days, no exaggeration, days, it felt like somebody used my ribs as an accordion. I couldn't take a breath. If I coughed, if I laughed, everything hurt.
Oh my God.
So I do believe that he has been turned against us. I don't know why. I do know how I plan on solving the problem, but I don't know why it is a problem. I don't know what's happened.
We have to hope. We have to hope that things get better, and we just thank you for this. Thank you for following. And what is it like being one of the most devastating wrestlers in the Old West?
It's something I pride myself on. People go to wrestling shows, they see wrestling, and I get told all the time, you wrestle like they did back in the 70s. You wrestle like they did in the 80s. You
are a throwback. You are a throwback.
Very fun. You're that made a man of that ilk. And it makes me feel real good. Being able to bring a devastation or a certain brand of toughness back to professional wrestling, it's something that I could have never dreamed of as a kid. And now with questions like that, it shows that I'm able to do that. I pride myself on my devastation.
Well, that's a great question. We got some great questions. I know you got about another 15 or so minutes, and we appreciate your time. And I want to thank you really for here. I want to thank all my supporters out there. I see a lot of them here in the chat. I can't thank you enough for your support. It's the people that got me to speak with you once again on Sportswire. It's the people that got Rhino here. Abraham Storm from North Carolina. The thunderous one has arrived. Congratulations to World War Stud Bronson. Absolutely. And we respect Ace Reed. We thank him for tuning in. We thank, obviously, Abraham Storm. The Peacemakers are the group that Stud Bronson's a part of, and they are one of the premier groups in our sport. Another great question here. What do you have to say to any new fans who may not know exactly what Thunder Mountain Wrestling is, but should? That's a great question. I'm going to put that YouTube link up here while you do that.
If we're trying to brand Thunder Mountain Wrestling to people that don't know what we are the wrestling you grew up with. It's the wrestling that you watched on Saturday morning with Grandma and Grandpa. We are, I would love to say family friendly, but I've been busted wide open, blood spraying in the ring. But we are family friendly. It is a family event. But we are old school wrestling. We are cowboy wrestling. I remember one of the first shows I had done for Thunder Mountain Wrestling. They some of the wrestlers in the back said that almost verbatim. They said, "This is cowboy wrestling. This isn't any kind of wrestling." It's tough. It's smash mouth. It's brutal, and you have 300 plus people in the audience screaming for you the entire time. I'll tell you,
love it.
It gets pretty loud for me. My wife tells me, my daughter tell me.
We spoke about that when you were here before with your daughter.
Yeah. They'll tell me, they cheer for you so loud. I will tell you, I sat in the locker room of a brick building, and the place was literally vibrating. They were chanting for my tag team partner, the Manimal, so loud. I was sitting there. I just wrestled. I was taking my gear off, They were chanting for that man so loud the light fixtures were shaking and the lockers were shaking. I thought like a dump truck was driving by or something. I, I actually had to stop somebody and ask, "What's happening?" And they're like, "Go out there and listen." It was the craziest reaction, and it's a reaction you really don't see a lot in
No,
independent wrestling.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
When Manimal lost his championship, which is it's like a nightmare to think about, if I'm being honest, people were crying in the audience. Not one, not two, but like 10, 15, 20 people were actually crying in the audience because they loved this man so much. It's really so that we create real emotion. We are real wrestling. We're tough. We're cool. We're fun. But I think realistically, we have some of the best wrestlers in the world. I think we have some of the best commentators in the world.
Yes, I agree.
We have the best announcer in the world. Our referees are some of the best in the world. It's that we were lucky enough to do this at a certain day, a certain time, where everything just kind of fell into favor for us. We have people behind the scenes that make things happen that if it wasn't for them, there'd be no show. We're just really, for lack of a better term, not lack of a better term, we're just really blessed. We got a real good team. We got a real good team.
You have a great team, and I know a lot of them are here. And we love. This is what I love about wrestling. This is, to me, gets my blood going. This is what gets me fired up. You better be supporting Thunder Mountain Wrestling. If you are here for the first time, I see Nathaniel Rage. Hit that sub button, Thunder Mountain Wrestling. Just do it. Just do it. I'm telling you. Yes, the fans love Thunder Mountain Wrestling. Stud's gas tank is full with Nas. Yes. Stud Bronson is the man. You better believe it. And also hit the sub button for us here at Sportzwire Radio. Thunder Mountain Wrestling has uploaded all their events from last year. Yes, and that's what I see. 5 new subscribers so far on YouTube. 5. Thank you so much for that. Zillion catch Thunder Mountain Wrestling YouTube. Yeah, Peacemakers are not they are a force. I was about to say they're a farce. They're definitely not a farce. Catch up with your Thunder Mountain Wrestling coverage. Oh, hell, only $20. Again, I just told you what I've spent on $20. You forget about it here. Yes, thank you, Zilla. Zilla knows who she's rooting for. Great. Who else we got here in the chat? A few more here. We got yep, thank you, Nathaniel. Deanna was crying. Well, don't cry now because this next Saturday is coming up here. I cried when they stole Manimal's title. I don't blame Noah. I refused to announce it, what had happened. It made my broadcaster do it. I was heartbroken. Well, you know what? We're going to certainly change that here next Saturday. I cannot wait for Genesis here. And it's going to be better than playing Sega Genesis. Trust me on that. Manimal, I agree. Thank you so much for that. Hit the sub button for Thunder Mountain Wrestling. Hit the sub button here for us. Manimal chants are all loud. Coachy, that reminds me of the Audio Slave song. Coachies,
Yeah.
There you go. We can't wait for Thunder Mountain Wrestling's Genesis. Yep. Thunder Mountain Wrestling is going to blow the world. You better believe it. I know you're a busy man. I got to ask you, anything else that you're working on here? Anything else upcoming we should know about before I get to 1 or 2 more final questions with you, sir?
Sure. I had the distinct privilege, I'll say, to take part in a film project with the director. His name is Matt Meinhardt. I think that's right, Meinhardt.
I ain't gonna argue with you.
I always just call him Matt. Matt afforded me an opportunity to be in a short film project of his for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where I got to play Leatherface. They dropped the trailer for that last week. It's been viewed 640,000 times.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So I got to be a horror icon, and now I'm gonna go wrestle Savio Vega. It's been quite
wow.
Yeah,
and you're a Hall of Famer too.
Yeah, and a Hall of Famer. That's crazy. I'm gonna get that posted up on my wall.
It's funny. I'm so glad because about a quarter to a third of the actual Hall of Fame members have done that, and you're in the Hall of Fame with some really big people. I mean, like I said, a guy who played in the Final Four. I have a journalist who's covered a couple of guys who made the major leagues. I have another guy who's the United States amputee soccer coach. We got some really, really big names that are in there. Yeah, Stud is a busy man. He's a very busy man. We also have a guy that's in the Hall of Fame that wrestled the Rock and Roll Express. I mean,
Wow.
Rad Dad Valley Belmont. I mean, Stud is, only in January. Only in January. Congratulations, Stud Bronson. Absolutely. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, with all wrestling matters. Thank you so much, everybody here, for all of your support. Thank you for supporting Thunder Mountain Wrestling. Go hit the sub button for them. Hit the sub button for me. We're going to have more Thunder Mountain Wrestling coverage. You rest assured. And I'm going to definitely, whatever I get to, I will put my money where it is. Fratelli, Bronson, has to happen this spring or summer. It has to happen. It has to. But I know you're busy, man. I know that you have a lot to get to. And I want to give you the opportunity. Is there any final words that you have for Savio Vega before next Saturday?
Final words for Savio Vega.
Yep.
Savio, I'm not looking past you. I'm not looking over you. I'm not looking through you. I have been damned with having to wrestle you while my brothers and my team are being torn apart. You are my number one focus. I have not shifted focus. But now you will face all of my force, all of my rage. You are going to take the brunt of it. And I wish I could say I'm sorry, but I'm not. This is our business. It is very unforgiving, and I'm going to beat the hell out of you. Those are my final words for Savio Vega.
You know what? Right to the point. The talking's over. The talking is going to be over. Vega can run. He can hide. He can make a post and say a few words. He can cut a promo. He can wrestle in Puerto Rico. He can wrestle in the Bronx. He can do whatever he wants. But you know what? He ain't going to be doing anything more after January 25th because Stud Bronson is literally a World War-like figure. And to steal a phrase of Rhino, he is not only a war machine, but a world war machine. And this match for the Urban Legend and now the Super Vader Championships are going to be on the line next Saturday night at the Douglas High School Gym, 1550 15th Street, Douglas, Arizona, Thunder Mountain Wrestling's Genesis. And get this, it is only $20 for the VIP. And you're going to see Colby Carino. You're going to meet Vampiro. You're going to meet Savio Vega. You're going to meet Victor Ursus. And you're going to meet so many of your favorite stars. This is one of the premier independent wrestling companies in the world. And you mark my words, Stud Bronson will get on that PWI 500. You mark my words. Stud Bronson will get that match with Vito Fratelli, a match that I have been waiting for, a match that was born on my platform to happen nearly 2 years ago. I cannot wait. Let me get to one more comment. Now we're going to show Savio what the Wild West is about. You better believe it. And it's going to be not like the Kool Mo D song or the Will Smith movie and song. It's going to be something that Savio Vega hasn't seen, maybe not even in his WWE days. He might want to be Quang. He might want to be Savio Vega. He might want to be in Caribbean strap matches. He ain't going to need any of it because Stud Bronson is at the peak of his game. And this is going to be one of the greatest matches of 2025. I know you were a busy man, so I want to pass the baton to you for some closing thoughts. Anything else that you want to plug, share, or say? And boy, I can't wait to have you back on here to talk about this match, but also talk about you and Mr. Fratelli, the unfinished business that I will know will happen soon. But the floor is yours, good sir.
For closing thoughts, I got Savio Vega. Vampiro's coming out to our shows. He's doing his best maybe to help us. So maybe this. If things keep getting out of hand in Thunder Mountain Wrestling, if Don Carlos keeps squeezing that vice grip that he's got around our necks, maybe, just maybe, Vampiro's going to have to step in that ring.
Oh my God. Mic drop. Vampiro, the legendary Vampiro, stepping foot in a ring. Stepping foot in a ring, not just showing up, stepping foot in a ring. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Maybe,
it seems like it.
Just maybe he'll become a peacemaker himself.
Oh my God! God. No. Well, listen, this is why. You have to go to Thunder Mountain Wrestling. You have to go out there. Hit that sub button for me. Hit the sub button for me. There it is. I see we got a whole new list of subscribers tonight. This is the only way. If you're like me in New York or other parts of the country and the world, we heard from Australia, North Carolina, Georgia was here, Massachusetts was here. We heard from so many great places, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. The only way that you can get in touch with Thunder Mountain Wrestling to watch this content, that YouTube channel. Hit that sub button for me. My friend, congratulations on being in our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame Club. I can't wait to see this match. I can't wait to talk to you about Mr. Fratelli. I certainly can't wait to see what this film world will do. Maybe you'll get a SAG card. I've actually been talking about getting a SAG card. So who knows? Maybe we'll be in a film. You might kill me in a movie. You might be so sick of seeing me on Sportswire that you want to kill me in a movie. It might happen. I mean, finally somebody would be happy there. But obviously, all kidding aside, maybe we'll see each other on the picket line or maybe in a movie or two. But Vampiro was a peacemaker. Stay tuned. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Ryan. Thank you for your support. Ryan always likes a lot of my posts, and everybody here in Thunder Mountain, thank you for your support. Congratulations, my friend. Go get him next Saturday. Can't wait to see what happens, and I will definitely be talking with you undoubtedly after this. And congratulations on being the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Congratulations on being in that historic short film, and can't wait to see what's ahead. And Fratelli, I know he's coming.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. He is the Super Vader and the Urban Legend Champion. He is World War Stud Bronson. He is in action coming up here next Saturday, Thunder Mountain Wrestling, latest show, Genesis. He will be wrestling Savio Vega, WWE Legend. He's putting up that Super Vader and Urban Legend Championships. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, I'm here tomorrow night around 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Mickey Vargas, who's traveling from New York to go to Texas. If you're on Sportswire Radio right now on my YouTube channel, hit the sub button for me. Hit the sub button for Thunder Mountain Wrestling. And until then, thank you so much, everybody, for your support. Thank you for following up Rhino with Stud Bronson. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one, Global Radio, that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters.